Hello there everyone, I'm Lilith Fox, and welcome to my first Animal Crossing New Horizons Dream Tour. Today we are touring one of my very favorite virtual places, Oak Oasis. Oak Oasis is the creation of one of my dearest friends, Brooke. I met Brooke through the Animal Crossing Twitter community, where I was instantly drawn to her stunning island photos, her authenticity and kindness, and her incredible sense of humor. Without question, Brooke is one of the warmest and most talented people I have ever met, and I'm so honored to show off her breathtaking island, Oak Oasis, a true autumnal escape. If you are interested in touring Brooke's island alongside me, and I absolutely recommend that you do, you'll find her dream address and social media channels in the description of this video. Waking up in the plaza of Oak Oasis, we find 3 gifts: a maple leaf pochette, a ladder, and a mush umbrella. Let's don these autumn treasures and set off to explore. First, let's take a look at Oak's incredible map. There's a lot to see in Oak Oasis. Every nook and corner has been thoughtfully built and decorated. Oak is home to some of my all-time favorite villagers: Marshall, Melba, Maple and Poppy, true autumn creatures, Bill, Molly, June, Alice, Ellie, who I happen to know is one of Brooke's favorites, and finally Fauna. I love that the villagers are spread throughout the map, but that they sit mostly in pairs or small clusters so that there is still that feeling of closeness and community. In addition to being an incredible island designer, Brooke also creates beautiful and charming clothing designs. So let's take a peek at her kiosk. Some of my most favorite outfits are Brooke's creations. She has a range of sweaters and dresses that are perfect for fall. I adore the rusty mush sweater, this striped mush sweater, the mush cardigan, and this incredibly sweet acorn dress. If you'd like to check out more of her designs, you can find her creator code in the description below. So let's start our journey through Oak Oasis. Just beside resident services is the campsite, so let's head there first. The campsite is simple and tranquil, exactly the kind of place I'd like to camp out. I love the ducks sitting in the little pool of water, the woodsy decor, and the inviting fruit baskets. I can imagine the residents of Oak gathering here for a meal to welcome visitors. Just above the campsite is the Oak Oasis Museum. A perfect blend of rustic and grand, the museum is one of the most memorable and beautiful spaces in Oak Oasis. I love how the more lavish treasures, the Valiant statue, the Virgo harp, the grand piano, are balanced with the dirt and stone pathing, the mush lamps, and the country fence. It gives these more ostentatious items, and the museum itself, an antique feel, as though they were uncovered here after a long time instead of crafted and built anew. To the left of the museum is a charming little honeybee farm beside a suspension bridge. The bee huts, the honeybee models, and the wasp nests are tucked within a garden of bright yellow flowers, where honeybees buzz around. It is a testament to Brooke's talents that she was able to transform this little transitional space into one of the most serene and beautiful spaces of the island. Just up from the honeybee farm is the Oak Oasis orchard. Like the rest of Oak Oasis, the orchard is filled with pastoral charm, and it makes use of cliffs to create a realistic sense of depth. Placing the fruit trees and the silos up on the cliffs makes it seem as if the orchard goes on for miles and miles, and I adore the bits of rustic charm from the barrels, the piles of leaves, the full-grown weeds and bits of bamboo, and the beautiful wooden orchard sign. The orchard is reminiscent of a real farm, where you can get lost in the fruit trees, watch the butterflies and other bugs as they go about their days, explore small streams and pools of water, and even take a nap on a bale of hay. Tucked behind the cherry trees to the right of the orchard, there is a small path that leads out to the ocean. Here we find the secret beach, where Red has left behind a few of his treasures. If we head down and out of the orchard, we can set off to find our first set of houses. Tucked here with the sea behind them are Fauna and Bill's houses, a true woodland oasis. We don't even need to check the map, since Brooke has left their little pictures outside for us. I love the mix of the wooden, stone, and dirt pathing, as though the villagers set out whatever they could find naturally on the island. The little fireside seating goes well with the woodland cabin vibe, and I love that this space feels lived in, with a bit of laundry drying in the wind and a little book beside the rocking chair. Let's head back down now past resident services and see what else we can find. Taking the center path brings us to the Able Sisters, one of my very favorite buildings in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Like so much of Oak Oasis, it is beautifully tucked away between cliffs that feel as though they have always been there. As always, I love the blend of natural elements like the mush partition, the pile of leaves, and the log stakes, with the more modern items like the sewing machine, the ironwood low table, and the building itself. It is a truly beautiful area, totally worthy of Mabel and Sable. Taking the path down the right from resident services, we come to another cluster of houses. The first is Molly's, whose little log cabin sits beside the river basin. I can imagine Molly spending her time fishing from the river and the sea and tending to the flower pots that surround her home. Past Molly's house is Maple's yard, one of my favorite places in Oak Oasis. Tucked between beautifully sculpted waterfalls, Maple's space is filled with autumn treasures, little pops of red that blend perfectly with her house exterior. Even the pond stone beside the river is filled with maple leaves, a beautiful touch. The final house in this area is Melba's, and it is filled with pink cherry blossom accents that I can imagine her carefully collecting and putting out herself. What I love about Oak is how each of these homes feels distinct and personal, completely tailored to the villager that resides there. Past Melba's house is a charming little diving spot, complete with wetsuit and surfboard rentals and a giant snow crab. But my favorite thing about this spot has to be the seaside view and the memories of diving here with Brooke and friends. Leaving this corner of the map, we head past one of the many scenic areas on Oak, complete with stunning waterscaping, adorable frog and fish models, and a nice view of the Able Sisters in the distance. Passing resident services and Able Sisters once more, we head to the left of the map, stopping for a quick rest in one of the many transitional nooks that make Oak Oasis so special. Just up ahead is Nook's Cranny up on a cliff top, surrounded by a beautiful mix of trees, bamboo, orange and green flowers, and country fencing. I love the realistic touches of the barrels, boxes, and other items that seem to be for sale. Just below Nook's Cranny is a separation in the cliffs, so let's head through to find one of the most beautiful and unique spots on Oak Oasis, the Rock Garden. Brooke's Mushroom Rock Garden is a wonder, a space that for me evokes the true magic and nostalgia of Animal Crossing. Heading left from Nook's Cranny, we pass a small path that seems to lead to a farm in the distance. Let's save that for a little later and head toward Brooke's house. Brooke's beautiful cottage-style home is filled with a rustic cottagecore charm that feels completely unique to Oak Oasis. One of my favorite little areas is this spot beside the stunning waterfalls. If you look closely, you'll find Beardo's photo. After accidentally picking up his picture at a treasure island, she placed it there as a joke, only to have Beardo as one of her starting villagers on her second island, Willow. There is no escaping Beardo. Wanting to showcase more of her clothing designs, Brooke decided to convert her house into a small boutique. I love this idea, and I love seeing all of her designs laid out in one beautiful space. Remember, if you see anything you like hanging on the wall, you can find Brooke's creator code in the description below. Just past Brooke's house is a charming art studio, complete with areas for both painting and pottery, and down from there is a little clifftop stargazing spot that offers an incredible view of the island. Down from the cliff top is a charming fishing bay. Just up from the bay, we find Marshall's house beside the beach. I love how everything feels beachy and whitewashed, and though it still feels quite rustic, it has an elegance that we would all expect from sweet Marshall. Just above Marshall's house, past the art studio, we find a delightful farm, complete with mushrooms, watermelon, cabbages, and more. The attention to detail here is incredible, and I adore the use of the barbed wire fencing and the zen cushions as little bags of fertilizer or soil. Just beside this beautiful farm is Poppy's house. Again, this space feels as though it has been carefully curated by Poppy herself, complete with books, soft music, and simple treasures that I can imagine Poppy collecting and displaying with pride. Up the stairs from Poppy's yard is Ellie's house, which has its own extension of the farm below, along with a cozy fireside table for reading and sipping tea. This little laundry area is utterly perfect, with the custom-designed water splashes adding a realistic and charming touch. Heading back to the small path beside Brooke's home that we passed earlier, we come to the biggest farm on Oasis. This farm is a true pastoral marvel. It is filled with crops of every variety, and my favorite touch, a space for crafting and DIY. But watch out for the tarantula that seems to have made a home here. Walking up past the farm, we come to one of the most breathtaking spaces on Oak, the Lavender Farm. Spanning the land on the other side of the river, the Lavender Farm seems to stretch on for miles, the lavender and tall grass blowing gently in the wind. There is a true serenity in this space, and it blows me away every time I look at it. Leaving the Lavender Farm, we pause at a small picnic spot near the river before moving on to our final two houses, June and Alice. June and Alice live seaside beside a small fishing pond, and their shared yard is as sweet as they are, with pops of white birchwood and a lovely picnic beside a fire. To end our tour, let's head back to the entrance of Oasis, which is one of Brooke's favorite places. Brooke's beautiful town flag was made by our dear friend Kelly, who does island flag commissions. I'll link her Twitter in the description below. And that, my friends, is the incredible, incredible Oasis. A true oasis in every sense of the word, beautifully built and expertly curated. It was an absolute honor to show off this stunning island created by a beautiful, beautiful soul for my first ever dream tour. If you enjoyed this tour, please check out Brooke's Twitter and Instagram in the description below, and check out her dream address to tour this island yourself. If you'd like to see more dream tours like this one, as well as Animal Crossing New Horizons Let's Plays and much more, please give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. Take care, friends, and see you soon.